Yo, yo, yo. It is Reverse Polarity episode 23. It's me, your boy, HifiVega, and I'm joined, as always, by the man who never sleeps, the one who gets jiggy with it, the man who once said, eat my shorts.
Do you know the phrase?
What's up? I had to see if you had a response. So.
Well, I did. Did you ever? Have you ever heard the term "fega beefy"?
A what?
Fega beefy.
No, I haven't.
So there was a movie. Remember when HBO first came out and like cable back in like the 80s? Did you guys have that? Like I don't remember. We had a thing like Vision Cable or Cable Vision or something like that. And so we got all those movies that were like, we didn't know what a B movie was. So there was this one, I don't remember what it was. They had to go on like a scavenger hunt. And one of them was putting together these letters. And one of the dumb guy in the group goes, Fega beefy? 30 years, man. It stuck with me the whole time. It's still there.
That's the one thing you got out of the movie.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the title of the movie, what it is about. I just remember them sitting in the back of the van and the dumb jock going, Fega beefy. And I'm just like, it's funny. He said whatever he said. I don't know.
Great. I have so many side jags. I hope you guys are ready for side jags and crazy pictures.
Well, I feel this show is perfect for that, especially.
Yeah, I mean, it's a side jag.
We should just change the name to side jag,
right? Well, it should be side jag. We didn't know this in the beginning, otherwise it would have been.
Prematurely named it.
Let's start out with the poll. We always talk about TV or food.
Okay.
So I'm looking for a new show to watch. I'm about finished with The Witcher.
Oh, how did you like that? Be honest. You can be honest.
I don't know. It hasn't. I have 2 more episodes left.
Okay, so you got to finish the whole thing. So we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Reserve your thoughts on next week because it time jumps so much.
Right. And you can't tell where it's at. Yeah.
Yeah. So until you're at the end and all the pieces have been laid out before you and you can kind of look back on it. So we'll save that. All right. So you're almost done with that. I've watched it twice, by the way.
I might watch it twice.
I had to go back. I had to go back. It was like when I watched Tenet, that crazy Christopher Nolan movie, which made me realize how much I actually hate Christopher Nolan's movies. I watched Tenet and then I was like, I don't know what I just watched. So I had to go back and back to back watched it again. And I was like, I mean, okay, sure.
Whatever. Opinion.
Yeah.
With more info. But I had 2 that I'm looking at starting next. One of them's Hannibal. I've heard good things. Never seen it.
Is that a new version of it or is that the older version of it?
It's the newer version, I believe.
Okay.
And then the other one's Raised by Wolves. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah, and I think it's something like robots raise a kid. I don't know.
What's that one? What's that superhero one that's on HBO Plus or whatever that is? That's it's got the guy from The Mummy in it that plays like a robot dude, or he's covered in metal. It's like it's a DC thing.
Oh, Legends?
No. This wasn't made for TV. Oh, frick.
I don't know.
You remember the guy that played The Mummy? He didn't play the Mummy. He played in the Mummy. He was the funny guy that hasn't been in a movie since the angry chipmunk movie or whatever, where the park creatures all attack him.
He in Encino Man too?
Yes, yeah.
Brandon
Fraser. He plays like a cyborg or something like that. Yeah. What the hell is the name of that? It's on HBO.
He says cyborg, Bobby.
Yeah. Bobby. What's the name of the show, Bobby? I think it's on like episode or season 3. But it's like a group of superheroes.
I'll have to check it out.
I don't know, but that's the one I'm kind of teasing on right now. It's like I won't have time until probably April.
Yeah. That's kind of how it is for me. I got time. Like I watch one 1 hour show with my wife and I. So whatever it is, like if it's a 20, like WandaVision, we could do 2, So
man, you guys, that's love right there, man.
Yeah.
I apparently do not love my wife that much. All right, so we got Raised by Wolves and then Other. So what do they give us here?
Let's see. HifiVega hits us with the A team. I
Of
mean,
course
come
he
on.
does.
We've
Who
already
hasn't
seen that. Yeah, for sure. Tribes of Europa. I've never heard that.
Travelers of Netflix. I think yeah, okay. Deadwood. I started to watch Deadwood. I got like maybe almost through season 1. And I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it, but then I saw how many. I was like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah. Okay, that's for sure. That's always that when you're picking a show, when you see like 15 seasons or 9 seasons, it's like, dude, I can't be invested.
I like 8 episodes is cool.
Yeah,
6 is better.
right. We got Stand By Me, a movie, great movie.
Kick ass. Seen both of those. Dark on Netflix. I want to say I've seen that.
I've heard that was good. Bob's Burgers. Have you watched that? I haven't checked that out.
No. I only have room for one cartoon in my life.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
Criminal Minds. I used to watch that. That's in like season 200 now, so there's no way I can go back with that. But we watched it when it first came out. Justified, I've watched all but the last season, so I might want to go back and watch that last season. Did you ever see Elementary?
No, those shows, my wife watches every single one of them.
I loved that show, man, dude. I watched it, but I watched it on TV, so it took 6 or 8 years or whatever it was. So it was fine. Justified is really good though, man. Timothy Oliphant or whatever his name is. That show was really cool. That's why he was really good in The Mandalorian, because he got to play that same character. It was pretty nice. Okay, let's talk about WandaVision for one quick minute. Now that it's over, for those of you guys that are waiting to watch it, just
tune out, 10 out for a second.
What? All right. So what did you think?
Okay. So are we talking about WandaVision as a whole?
Yeah, as a whole, what did it do for you?
Okay, the first 2 episodes suck.
Yes.
The last episode sucks.
Yes.
Everything in between is amazing.
So if we took Wanda out of it and we just had the FBI guy, Broke Girl, and Rambo, would that have not made a better show?
Yeah,
like,
I think
honestly,
so.
I would think those 3 people just going up against the head sword guy with something in the background that they're all going towards. To me, that was the show. Yeah. Everything else was stupid.
And the Wanda, she's not really a lovable or likable character in this.
No, she sucks. Yeah, she sucks. And even it's like the big battle of Vision at the end. It's like, I mean, but okay, so like we thought Vision and Vision were going to battle, but then I was like, wait a minute, they're both intellectuals. Fighting is senseless. So one of them is going to say something to make the other one think, and then go, "I'm out.
Yeah,
this is dumb." Yeah.
He's like, can I talk you out of this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course. Doom Patrol. Thank you, David. It's the show's called Doom Patrol.
I'll have to look into it.
Yeah, it looks cool. It originally started on DC's network when DC had their own, before HBO, whatever the current configuration of was it Plus or
Max.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. Go Plus Max. But yeah, Supernatural roped me in.
I watched Supernatural. That's my guilty pleasure.
Dude, I watched 9 seasons back to back. It took me all summer. I watched all 9 seasons because they were supposed to end at 10. And when they didn't, I went, bye, I'm out. Screw you guys. I'm done. I watched 9 seasons of this nonsense, and you're not going to end it for another 7 seasons?
Right. That was our little catalog show that we would catch whenever, and I've watched them all now. I mean, I enjoyed the ride. Just like I said, it's a guilty pleasure. It's not a good show, but
no, it's
and the WandaVision, the whole thing's like, Doctor Strange is not going to be in it.
Oh no, he was in it. Did you hear him say Sorcerer Supreme?
Yeah,
big name drop. Wow, I'm like the whole show. I'm just sitting there going,
all right, like dude, they got us.
And then they do the double thing at the end, and you're just like, screw this stuff. Right.
Yeah. I love and hate that show at the same time.
I loved it because it was like something to watch, and it's only a half hour. I say a half hour. It's only like 20 minutes to watch, so it's like, shoot, it's over. I missed it.
Well, then the whole Monica Rambeau thing, she's supposed to be like Spectrum, I think is a comic book.
Yeah,
and it's like that never paid off.
Well, because she just turned. I don't even think she's realized it yet.
Yeah, and the whole Agatha thing, like, dude, Agatha's.
Yeah, it was weak.
Yeah.
Have you watched For All Mankind?
Not yet, but it's on the list.
Watch it because season 1 is done. They just started season 2. I think they're either 2 weeks in to it because it's HBO, so they release it one at a time. It took us. We're like, oh, well, we got one more. All right, let's watch it. The first episode, you're just kind of like, well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then by the end, you're like, oh, that wasn't too bad. I feel our bar is low, but that wasn't too bad. Season 2 started out okay. So
yeah,
Haley and I both watched that together. So
I have to check it out because there's not much on Apple TV Plus.
No, I don't. I don't know what they're waiting for. Maybe grand inspiration, or it's not like they don't have money. But I feel like Apple TV Plus is suffering from the fact that it's like COVID came just as Apple TV Plus was launching. And it's like, I'm sure they have tons of deals in the works, but they're going, well, I'm just going to have to wait.
We don't sleep, RVH. That's
how I watch TV Saturday night. That's the only night I have to watch TV. So anything that I talk about that I've watched, Saturday night, because Friday night, I'm usually editing The Boring Life of Dean and Haley. And then Saturday night after work, it's like, that is Dean's TV night. So I will binge watch a whole 8 episode until, 5 in the morning and whatever it takes. Or unless I fall asleep, in which case I'll get up early Sunday morning and finish watching it before the girls get up. But that's the only time I have to watch anything. That's why I like watching movies, because it's like 2 hours and I can go to bed.
And you can get it. Yeah. That's the jam. And if they haven't seen, like, if you are not subscribed to The Boring Life, you missed solid gold last Saturday with the carpool karaoke, Dean and Haley style.
Yeah, that was a bad idea.
You guys didn't get demonetized for it, so.
Well, we're not making money on it, so we don't have 1,000 subscribers yet. But I got the letter, I got the email saying, just so you know, this is it's got the cool little yellow icon around the thing, and it's like, this will not be played in certain countries. I'm like, oh, whatever, I don't care.
Well, you should take compliment because you guys done so well with the singing that you fooled them.
Yeah, right.
So for whatever reason this week, I fell into like an 80s, 90s hole, and things started popping up, and I started seeing it. And tell me, you didn't know somebody that had this couch?
Yeah, Sue's grandmother.
Yeah, so everybody has someone in their family that has this couch.
Yeah. It looks like a pizza if you really like squint your eyes on the back. It looks like a pizza. I think she had the one with the wood arms there in the bottom. That one, yeah. I think they had that one. I want to tell you right now, that couch was super comfortable.
They were very comfortable.
And I believe I probably have that picture right there of us sitting on it. The one couch everyone has.
That's true.
So ours was like tweed or burlap. So that was our couch. So ours was, and it was green, like full on like lime green.
Wow.
Because we had lime green carpet, and then in the basement, this is when I lived in Michigan, our carpet was shag, and it was red, gray, black, and probably some white sprinkled in there color. Yeah. It was the dopest shit ever, and it matched because the basement was all done up in brick and wood, and so it all flowed like like, this looks totally the way it's supposed to be.
It's just like 70s as hell.
Yeah. And the couch was brown burlap colored, so
did you have wood paneling on the walls? Did you already mention that?
Yes. We totally had wood paneling. Yeah, and the one, so the wood paneling that went, because the staircase was, went up like this, and so the portion of the staircase there, where the whole foyer was, because it was a split plan, so you had the basement was here, and then it went up for the top, so there was that whole foyer where you had to decide to go up or down. And so that area there, you could go into the basement, which you could see. and pull the paneling off, and that was where all the Christmas stuff was. You hit it. It was a hidden room. So there's two nails.
Little Dean wasn't supposed to know about, huh?
Oh, we totally knew about, but we wanted to play there. I thought that would be the perfect fort, but for some reason, no one agreed with me on that one. I was like, dude, let's make this a fort. Why are we putting all this Christmas crap here?
That's like a children under the stairs type stuff right there.
Oh, totally. I would. Yeah. I mean,
There's of course a 90% chance you had a fondue pot in that house.
Oh, there was definitely a fondue pot in the house somewhere. I mean, so that house was cool. So that's the house that, like when you wake up and you have all the fond memories of, even though I was, because I lived there until I was 10. But so that house, we were broke as shit, by the way. And the oven in that had the little tiny oven next to it. So it would be the equivalent of like a microwave before microwaves existed. So we would we were young and stupid and didn't know what it meant to be broke. But to make food that tastes nasty more appealing, like a bologna sandwich, my mom would warm them up in the ovens. And when you warm up bologna, it turns into a bowl. Yeah. And so she's like, bro, we're going to have bologna bowls. And we're like, yeah. Woo! And it's like, if we had cheese, it was like, oh my God. Yeah. And we're just like, we're having bologna bowls. We're having bologna bowls. And it's like, that's because we're broke as hell. We got no money. I have never
You didn't know till later.
Dude. Okay. So Sue and Haley both think this is the funniest thing in the world. Mainly Sue. They loved boxed macaroni and cheese. Like they love that stuff. So much so that Fro, when Haley turned 21, sent her 21 boxes of macaroni and cheese. Okay. And I grew up eating that too because we were broke, but we never put milk in it to make it. We always put water in it. All right.
Oh no.
I didn't know you were supposed to put milk in it because milk was just for cereal and you made that crap with water. And that's what you did. And when Sue and I started dating and I was going to make macaroni and cheese, she's like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, making mac and cheese. What does it look like? She goes, why are you putting water in it? I'm like, why wouldn't you? That's what it calls for. And she goes, did you ever read the box? And I was like, no, this is how I've been making it since I was born. What do you mean it needs milk? What kind of nonsense? Who wrote this on here?
Was it like this in the house? Like if you run out of milk for cereal, your mom's like, put some water in it.
No.
Yeah, I got that once or twice. Yeah, put some water in it.
No, that was.
I'll eat it dry.
I'll eat it dry.
Oh, shout out to Scott. Appreciate it. All is well, my dude.
Well, so all right, we got a topic.
We got topics. I have more 90s things. I will share them next week because I've just got a whole gym full of 90s stuff.
I mean, we could go either way. It doesn't matter to me. If you want to rail this nostalgia down, let's do it.
I got one more. I just want to see how many of these items did you have?
Okay, let's do it.
All right. Wait. Make sure I share the right one.
I mean, we're all here for the fun of this, right?
Right. Exactly. 20 things every cool kid growing up in the 80s owned.
I was not cool. Okay.
Walkman.
Yes.
Walkman. Everyone, you had to have the Walkman. I mean,
yeah. I mean, that was my first car stereo. I plugged my Walkman into. Okay, so I bought a Dodge Omni and it had an AM radio. I pulled out the AM radio, and I literally just had a Walkman going into some form of a preamp or an amp of some kind, like an EQ or something, that went off to a set of Peerless tweeters and a set of JSE 8-inch subwoofers in the back. But weren't even subwoofers. They were like just mid-range for a house. And that was it. So every morning we get in the car and I'd press, and that's what we jammed to. Spoon, spoon, spoon.
And that fueled your love for headphones.
I sure,
Members only jacket.
Had that one right there, gray, all the way.
Yeah,
favorite color.
I did not have one of these, but I wanted one. My sisters had them. I didn't have them.
Air Jordans. Sue's dad still has the members only jacket and still rocks it.
Hey, he's dedicated, man. You can't even shame him for that.
No, he loves it. I had they were like these kangaroo speakers. I don't know. They're from Australia, Aussie something. They had little zipper pouches on them.
Oh, Bruce. They were called
Ruse.
Ruse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had those because
I had Ruse as well. I did not have Air Jordans. I
No,
wasn't
we
a
weren't.
basketball shoe guy either, though. So.
We weren't loaded like that.
No, there was no option. I had Ruse, and then I think I had PF Flyers.
What I think
There
is
was a
funny is what
knockoff.
it's actually sitting on is an Apple II.
Right.
And
I didn't have that either.
I didn't either. But my friend, this girl from class that I went to, a girl by the name of Kathy Gee, her dad was like a college professor or something like that. So they had one. And I just remember going over there and they had Rubik's Cube on it. But what was weird, it was a flat Rubik's Cube and by no means, and it just had like X's and because it was a gray black screen. So it was just like you had to put patterns together, but it was all flat. And you're like,
yeah, I've never seen that program.
I'm like, let's go play in the basement. Do you have matches?
I think I had an IBM PC Junior with the green screen and the MS DOS. That was that wasn't great. What about this, Merlin? I didn't own this, but I played with them. But I had friends that had them.
That lit up different things, right? And you had to.
And it was the patterns. Yeah, you would do a pattern, you'd have to copy it.
It was like a Simon.
Exactly. But I think it was before.
Yeah, no.
Garbage Pail Kids.
Let me tell you a story about Garbage Pail because let's go down that road. It has no car audio anywhere, but it was okay. So Garbage Pail Kids were just coming out, and I was living in Florida. And that summer, my mom was sending us to stay with our friends back in Michigan. Okay. Garbage Pail Kids had already come and done their things in Michigan. So the little kids next door had a shit ton of these things just laying around. And I go, hey man, you want to sell those? And they're like, sure. I'll give you $10 for the whole batch. And they're like, sure. So I come home with a stack of Garbage Pail Kids like this. I had two, like, you know how you could flip them over and they had images on the side, on the back. You could build the puzzle. I had two puzzles. And I like put little corner pieces and I just hung them on my window at my house. And I just went around the neighborhood like this. Yo, man, I got Garbage Pail Kids. I'm just saying I got garbage. You know, let everyone in the neighborhood know. We lived in this huge apartment complex. Dude, I pulled the screen out of my window and people were walking up to my screen like I was selling candy in a van and be like, all right, man, let me see what you got. Dude, I made like $300 or $400 that summer selling these used Garbage Pail Kids cars. It was the best thing ever. And I bought an RC car with it because that's how I roll. Probably the grasshopper like I have over here.
Dude, those Garbage Pail Kids were so sick back in the day. If you had Garbage Pail Kids, you were the man. I only remember I remember like Sicky Vicky.
Yeah.
And
I could have cared less. They were just money to me. Money. These kids were just I was a crack dealer and they wanted my crack. And that sounded really bad. Ooh, Trapper Keepers.
Yeah.
So that was one of those.
I had to if I wanted a Trapper Keeper, there had to be some negotiation with my mom. Like, what was I going to do to get this Trapper Keeper for school?
Well, okay, the real question was, what were you going to do with it once you got it? Because what do you do with it? You know, we all wanted one, but then it was like, I really don't care about school. So why do I need something that's going to make school? Is it going to make it better? Is it going to make it easier? I mean, it's shiny.
Yeah.
But
it is one of those checkbox things, you know, like when the cardio system and everyone just trying to check the boxes, like you just had to have it, whether it was useful or not.
Yeah. So I rode my bike to school. And so in my backpack, I had a toolkit. So like I would not be allowed what I brought to school when I was in middle school, I would be arrested for because I had I had a whole, like I had a crescent wrench, I had pliers, I had screwdrivers, I had a knife because, you know, if my bike broke on the way home, I had to be able to fix it.
Right.
So in my pencil pouch, it was just all tools. There was even one day where a teacher was trying to fix something and I go, what you really need is a screwdriver. And he goes, yeah, I don't have one. And I go, hold on. Zip.
Of course.
Which one do you need?
Of course, little Dean had all of this.
You know it, man.
You wouldn't even be little Dean if you did.
Too. Oh yeah. So that was mine.
You could replace this with the Peachy. You remember those?
A Peachy?
Yeah, the Peachy folders.
No. Dude.
Oh, dude. Next week I will look them up.
Okay. All right.
Rubik's Cube. Rubik's Cube. Everyone had a Rubik's Cube.
We all peeled the stickers off or broke them apart and put them back together. I mean, once you figured out you could twist it just right and that one would pop out.
Yeah.
You'd be like, and you go, they'd be like, I'll be back. I'm going to go solve this. There you go.
Yeah. I did it in record time. Like the stickers look peeled up. No, that didn't happen. I didn't have this cassette player.
No, I didn't either.
2600.
Yeah, I had the JCPenney's version of that. And Asteroids and Pac-Man. I could never figure that out. Like, we bought Pac-Man when that came out, and it was like, oh, we're going to get Pac-Man. And I kept going, yeah, but it doesn't look anything like the game I'm playing in the arcade because bitrate and all those things didn't really, you're like, and then there was like, you know, a year later, another company came out, and theirs was like almost perfect to, and you're like, this game sucks.
Oh, dude, I got so hustled. The way I got Atari 2600 was my mom bought me an NES. Was my only Christmas present. NES. Ooh. We only had Super Mario. That was it. That's all I had. Yeah. So I played Super Mario so many times and beat it. My sister, she's 12 years older than me.
Yeah.
So her friends were coming over and it's like, hey, I've got this Atari 2600 and I've got like 50 games for it. You want to trade for the NES? I'm like, yeah, 50 games. Like I only got one game for this stupid thing. So boom, I do the trade. My mom comes home. And let me tell you, there was hell to pay.
So I bought the Sega Genesis. This is probably like 92, whenever that came out. It came with this game called Quackshot, which was like Donald Duck. Went around and shot plungers. So this is how I figured out I suck at video games. I got home with the game. I hooked it up to my TV, and I played it for like 24 hours straight. And I think I made it to maybe level 3. In 24-hour period. And so the next day the day after, once I woke back up, I boxed it all back up and I returned it to the place I bought it from. And they're like, well, why are you returning it? I go, because I suck at this. They're like, well, you can get other games. I said, no, you don't understand. I suck at this. Like, I can't play these things. And they're like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I don't, these don't work with these. So give me my money back. And I bought a hi-fi VCR, changed my world forever.
Oh, dude. I'm surprised you didn't get a Betamax.
No, man. Come on.
Scratch and sniff stickers.
Gloves. Yes. Yeah. The black licorice. Oh, those are so disgusting. But you kept smelling it.
Slap bracelets. I've got slap bracelet. I've got a Cadence slap bracelet in the drawer right now.
Well, you know what those are, right?
Yeah.
You know what a slap bracelet is?
Yeah, it's like a little piece of...
No, it's a piece of tape measure.
Yeah.
So someone came up with the idea. They had a broken tape measure and they cut it and they and then they just put it in a cool little sleeve. And they sold it, but it's a tape measure. And
this one actually is actually a tape measure as well.
Yeah. That's cool.
The Cadence one. So it's got the markings on it for
nice.
Like 5 inches or something.
That's what it was. It was just somebody who had a broken tape measure.
Spirograph.
Yes.
My sister had them. I didn't have any, but
that was fun for all of 10 minutes.
Right. And then it was done for.
Yeah.
Big League Chew.
Yes. I don't know why, but yes. Grape flavor, not that bubblegum shit.
You ain't lying. Grape flavor was so artificially awesome.
Yes.
I don't know what it was. Oh, and you were like, this was back in the days when it was cool. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm dipping right now with bubble gum. Yeah, I'm gonna lose my jaw. Oh, I'd never had this. I wanted one so bad.
Swatch,
yeah.
Yeah. No, I had a Casio with a keyboard on it. Teddy Ruxpin. That was way past me. I remember that Christmas. Like, yeah, who doesn't? But man, that was I think the toy that made Christmas it was Teddy Ruxpin and it was Tickle Me Elmo. Those two toys just destroyed Christmas for everyone. That made it like those were the super toys that, it's like Teddy Ruxpin that Christmas, just like, I mean, even Arnold Schwarzenegger made that movie about, loosely based on the ridiculousness of Teddy Ruxpin. But that was the start of the crazy, like, news companies were reporting on it. And it's just like, oh, it's ridiculous. So
I think, and we had one in the house. I don't know if it was my little brother's or if it was mine. Leg warmers. I mean, obviously, that's not speaking to us.
Yeah, no. I mean,
but I'm a sucker for a lady in leg warmers.
I was gonna say, nice picture.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Is this the one you just stood and bounced around on?
Yeah.
Okay. What about a sit and spin? Did you have a sit and spin?
Oh, yeah. You gotta have it.
And then you're just going faster, and then you stop and you puke.
Yeah, and did you have the one where you like go side to side and it moves? I forget what those are called.
No, I had the basic one.
Jelly shoes.
Yeah. No. But
Cabbage Patch Kid dolls.
Sue still has hers, actually.
Does she?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we have them in the attic. Yep. She's got like 3 of them. 3 original Cabbage Patch. And they're worth nothing. Slogan t-shirts? No.
I mean, that's still around now.
Yeah, I mean,
That's it. That's all we had.
All right, so I know you guys have been patiently waiting for us to talk about something car audio, and some of you are going, I have no idea what it is you just talked about. I was a glimmer in my parents' eyes back in the 90s. I have no freaking clue. But we have a great car audio lineup here for you. We, Fernando and I scoured our phones, finding all the just terrible pictures of stuff that we've taken over the years. And we're not going to be able to get through them all in this show. So we'll come back to them at a later show and dig deeper into these.
Yeah.
But
maybe we'll have to do them. Just do it straight up next week. This will be part 1. Next week will be part 2.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
So this picture is funny. Fernando, okay, you guys don't understand how funny Fernando is because he comes off kind of stiff sometimes, and then he just doesn't like to talk. But when he gets something in his head, dude, he pulls up this picture and he runs over to me and he goes, "This one." And I go, "Why?" He goes, "This is what happens when you have a TV in the front of your dash." And I go, "All right, send me that one. Send me that one right now." Oh yeah. He goes, no. I go, no. Send me that one. That one is priceless. Yeah.
Well, see, I was like, what's the story with this? How did car audio do this?
Yeah, because you had it. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
this car had a really bad day. This had a really, really bad day. So we didn't actually see this car. This was a friend of Fernando's sent him this picture of a car that they had just gotten in their shop. That I'm sure there's no fuse underneath the hood, but this is like when people run the wires through the door jams, boot, as it were. I mean, I've seen some super creative versions that they put a lot of effort into trying to make this look like I've seen people buy color match duct tape to hide the wire. Yeah. And you're just like, if you put that much effort into actually doing it right,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
It wouldn't burn to the ground. Idiot. God.
Dude, that is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's a total it's not a total loss, but it might as well be.
Yeah. I mean, for everybody that runs their wire through the door, I've done it back in the day. I'll admit it. When I was like 16, I done it for a buddy. And yeah.
I like it when they come through the boot, the wire boot. And then so they'll like run it up into the kick. They'll come through the boot and then run it forward. And then they won't put the boot back. And then they'll be like, I don't understand why my car stinks. Well, because it rains here and all the water is coming down through that boot. I had one, it was a Dodge Charger, and they did that. And the Dodge, the harness is right there. Okay. And it's not a waterproof connection. So what happens over time was that the wires, they had the electrolysis that happened, and all the wires broke off the plug. So it was literally like one wire, next wire. And he's like, oh, I don't know what's going on. So I was like, I get it. And I'm like, oh my God, dude. I'm like, look at this. I'm like, and as you're touching it, like wires are falling off the plug. And you're like, I'm like, listen, I can solder these back together, but okay. Thank you. You're the best.
I can't imagine having to do this. What in the hell?
I love this. Okay. This is awesome. So all of us know what a Ttaps is by this point, right? And a Ttaps, inside of it, it looks like it's just a spade or terminal, slide-on terminal, not. So
with a razor.
Yeah, exactly. So they use Ttaps to make their relay mount. It's yeah, man, it's creative as hell.
Classic. I mean, at least they use the relay, right?
It's genius. It's genius. And you can see the corrosion all around it because it's underneath the hood. And that's straight up genius. That's next level right there. You won, man. You get the trophy. I'm a winner. I mean,
that's gold.
Oh, all these are, man. These are phenomenal.
It's just getting. Right. Okay. Oh,
I love this because we see this. This one we see all the time. All right. When you have that side post battery terminal, they make a GM bat. All right. You can get them at Discount Auto Parts now. You can get them anywhere. Any auto parts store sells that 2-piece nut where you pull that lug out, you put in another one, and it's got a screw-in terminal for you. Okay. So there's no excuse. And even if you don't have it, if you pull that big red rubber thing off, you could put a ring terminal underneath it and go on and no problem. But and it's funny because half the time when you pull the nut out anyways, the red thing falls off.
Yeah.
And everyone's like trying to put it back. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that?
The red thing's stupid.
Just leave it off. But nothing. Just leave it off. You can put a ring terminal behind. I didn't know you could do that. I know, right? So then they go, this one, they're like, it has that the wire on the right is next to the 5 that's the main wire coming off of that battery. And that's not an aftermarket fuse holder. That's the main fuse holder for the car. So we see this a lot in the Tahoes. You had a Tahoe forever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You know how like when you open the hood, there's that little red jump box, little door that you open up, and that's where they want you to put your jump cables because you can't put them in that corner because that's right next to the side of the car. People wire their 4-gauge and 0-gauge up to that all the time. And you're just like, what the frick are you doing? Why would you do that? I'm like, you realize it's a piece of 8-gauge from the battery over to that, right? What do you mean? Look at this wire. This is it. Oh, yeah, but it's really short.
Okay. Wait, and some of those, like where the whole fuse block is with all the fuses and relays, they'll have like a positive terminal there too. And I've seen people hook it up to that.
Yeah, and that's a fused terminal.
Yeah.
And you're just like, follow the chain back. Keep going. A little bit further. Bit further.
Don't do this.
Yeah. This was awesome. Okay, so this guy, we didn't work on this, but this guy pulls up to the store. You can see the 5-star in the window. That was our first sign. And so Fernando's like doing this. He's like, like, oh, look outside, stupid. And so I walk outside. I'm just like, I see it, and then I got to do one of these things, where you're like,
yeah.
I'm like, this is freaking priceless, bro. I mean,
is this a Paul customer?
Yes. Yeah. The 100% a Paul customer. Oh yeah.
These just keep getting better, man. I like this.
Dude, we had a lot of fun. We got to slow down though, because we don't want to get through them all. Stop clicking the button. All right. So the shortest distance between, to make a line, it's from point to point. All right. So the shortest distance between point A to point B is a straight line. When hooking up to a battery, 18 inches is the de facto longest you want to run. All right. It's not mandatory, meaning you don't have to run 18 inches. They just don't want you going any longer than 18 inches. Of course, this person interpreted that as the wire has to be 18 inches. So the fuse holder, which isn't mounted to anything, it's just which is those kind of fuse holders. If you don't mount them, you have to put like a zip tie around them or tape around them or something, preferably a zip tie, because you go over a bump and the top pops off. And then you have a live on either side. And it's like, at that point, who cares about the fuse? Then we go back to slide 2 there and your car is burned to the ground. But yeah, so they worked it all the way around and connected it. And you can tell from that picture that CCA wire.
Oh, is it? I didn't even look that close.
You just know it. You don't have to look close. You just know it's CCA. I mean, you can just tell by that. You can just tell by that shimmer of the red. It's just it looks hard as hell. Most of that CCA wire is just like,
yeah.
It's not because it's stiff. It's because it's so corroded inside there. It's like,
and this one, like this even this factory ground situation going on here, it's not great. You should have seen how bad it was in the Trooper. It was, it was objectively pretty terrible.
Well, here's what I like about that ground, that factory ground. So you got like maybe an 8-inch ground 8 gauge that comes off of that and goes to that bolt.
Yeah.
And then the other factory bolt is an inch away, and then another piece of wire goes off. So they couldn't share the same ground point. It's like,
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, so it's like, you know what we need to do? What if we make another hole? It's like, why? Well, we already have a hole. No. Well, what? Nah. Shut up. We're not Ford. We're not going to do it like that. Actually, that might be a Ford. Oh, it is a Ford. It's totally a Ford. The reason why I said it is because on the big F-250 diesel things, they have this funky piece of ground wire that like 12 or halfway down, they've just clamped on a ring terminal. Okay, so it's like they cut the thing, the crap away, and they just like have this weird terminal that they clamp onto it, and they just bolt it into the side, but they never cut the wire, which I'm not opposed to. Like, I'm like, well, that's a terrible idea. The problem is that you can't buy it anymore because it's like they manufacture it. They're like, oh, sorry, we don't have those, and you're like, what the fuck?
Thanks, bro. I'm so glad you did this now.
Yeah, you guys are the best.
Oh, hey, this happens a lot.
That's the steering column.
Yeah, I know. I just seen that. I have seen this personally at least 4 or 5 times.
I love it when it's when they turn the wheel and then it's like I can't turn the wheel anymore, and you're like, power wires just wanting to burn your car to the ground. It's like when you do something like this, there's absolutely no reason for you to put a fuse underneath the hood. None at all. Why? At this point, why bother? You know what I mean?
It. Yeah.
Just
team no fuse.
Team no fuse, man. To the ground.
Oh man, back with the CCA.
But yeah, I mean, all right. So we always try to drill our own holes, whether there's, we always try. And the one time you don't try is when disaster happens. I'll be the first to tell you that I'm not perfect, as we all know. And man, I have like drilled, or I've poked a wire and just poked it right into the other side in a wiring harness and let the smoke out of some wires. And it's like, oh man, and then it's like nothing sucks worse than trying to fix a wire out of firewall. Oh my God. That is the worst,
I'll see people that they took the time to drill the hole, but then they fell short of putting a grommet in there.
Oh yeah. Why would you
put
it or you put the grommet in there? You put the grommet in there, but you don't insulate it. So you don't, the air and water still comes in. So it's like, it's like when you drill a hole through firewall, you drill the hole, which is step 1. So it's like, there's 3 steps to successful holes through the firewall. 1, drill the hole. Okay. 2, put a grommet. 3, insulate the hole so no water or air get back into the vehicle. Because nothing's, I've had these, I've had people call and go, man, it's like there's something sound coming from my footwell now. And you're like, what is it? And I'll be like, well, bring it back by and let me take a look at it. And it's that one car that Fernando thought I put the goo on, and I thought I put the goo on. And you're like, so now we, that's early on. And so now you have like, we've built in checks and balances. So it's like, it's that is always checked because you only have it to happen once. And you're like, yeah, we need to make sure that never happens again. Because it's like, that's really stupid. Like, how did we forget that?
Yeah. When I done it on my Trooper, I put the grommet in, and I guess I bought the grommet from somewhere separate than where I had the wire from. And dude, I could almost not get this wire through this grommet. It was literally almost wanting to pull the jacket off. And I was stupid. I didn't go from the back to the front. I went from the battery back to the amps. So I'm pulling this way.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times. I like with DDS or DSS homemade duct tape grommets.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
It's better. Hey, it's better than nothing.
I mean, duct tape fixes everything.
Right? Oh, sick. Is this an ISO door speaker?
No. Okay, so at first, yes, that would be funny. What it really is a spacer. Okay, so the speaker was in the door the right way, but when we pulled it out, because it's like we're like, what kind of spacer is this? They used a piece of 8 gauge, taped it together as a spacer. So I'm like, all right, well, hey, you never have to worry about it corroding and falling apart. I mean, you know,
what they do with their door? What happened with the door panel?
Well, we had to take it off to replace the speaker. So we just had, this is once we got, so obviously we like to call it the mysteries of the unknown. We think of ourselves sometimes as archaeologists. You just never know what you're going to find once somebody else has done the install. So somebody had done, and, you know, it was like we were replacing the speaker and it sounded like, you know, they're like, these things sound like crap. And you're like, I wonder why. I can't
did they do this?
I don't know who did it. You know, the thing is a lot of times, which
they're not going to admit it. They're not going to cop to it.
No. You always get that in the, you know, when so it's funny. The video that we did for installer or trusted tech or whatever it was a couple years back, that was it was like a Hyundai or a Kia, and it had 2 high-level to low-level adapters in it, one 4-channel, one 2-channel, and it was a shop up the street that did it. It was totally screwed. It's still one of our most popular videos because the car is pretty popular. Everyone in there, they always comment and go, bro, man, that guy did that install. There's no way a shop did that. I'm like, what, are you kidding me? It's totally a shop did this. They all suck. I mean, not all shops suck. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
in general. I'm like, why? Okay, let's say he did do it. He realized it sucked and he brought it to us to make it right, because he was like, either way. But it's so funny when people are like, you know, the one thing that Fernando absolutely loves, this is his favorite thing, when people go, I used to be an installer. I just don't have the time to do it anymore. And then they sit in the waiting room for 3 hours while you're doing the install. And you go, right. What did you install exactly? Paper on the toilet paper roller? I mean,
yeah.
And then today's pro. He's pro. Well, all right. So today's topic that we're going to take a tangent here is tangent alert. We should have a pop-up that just comes up.
Oh, I know. I need.
So today's topic in the install bay was amateur versus professional, and how most people don't understand the definition of what a professional is versus the definition of what an amateur is. And so most people hear the words professional and they think that you're good at your job. You're a professional. That's not what it means. Professional is somebody that gets paid to do a job. Okay.
Yeah.
As a professional installer, I make my living, good or bad, as a car stereo installer. As an amateur, good or bad, I do not. I just have it as a hobby. It's a side jag. It's a side job. It's something I do for either fun or personal enjoyment, or I might make a couple bucks on the weekend at it, but I'm not a professional because I'm not making the majority. I can't live off of it.
Right.
So, but most people think of a professional as somebody that is skilled and good and bad, and, or, you know, like, oh, I'm the baddest dude ever. I can knock this stuff out. I was like, no. That's not what it means to be a professional. And that's where a lot of people get confused when they say, find a professional. And usually they say, find a good professional.
Yeah.
Because that word needs to be put in front of it to specify what type of professional you need to find. Not all professionals are created equal, as we've come to find out. But that was today's topic, and it was just like,
that's a good, like, if you're getting something installed, you want to see something they've done.
Correct.
That's one of the first things you should ask, like, hey, can I see something you've wired, or like, how do you guys install? Do you got pictures? What, you know?
So then Haley calls during this conversation. And I said to her, I said, do you understand what the definition, do you understand what it means to be a professional? And she's like, she says the same thing. Oh, it means that like, you're a professional, you're good at your job. You know, you're this, you're that. I'm like, no, that's not what it means to be a professional. And so I explained it to her. And so she goes, so basically what you're saying is, if I fry French fries for a living, I'm a professional French fryer. I said, exactly. That's exactly what it means. And if I'm at home frying French fries, I might do a much better job than you, but I'm still an amateur French fryer. And she's like, oh, okay. And so this was like 3 hours of our day.
And then she's gonna have to. I'm sure this will come back at some point.
Yeah, it always does.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, man, we spent 6 days together, 9 hours a day, or whatever the hell it is. Like the great thing about it, he'll forget in like 6 months. We'll have this conversation again, and it'll be like, but this time he'll be on the other side of it. He'll be like, no, this is what it means to be a professional. I'll be like, no, and so then I got to play the amateur side of the conversation. So we flip roles.
That's how you got it. I've been working with the same guys for like 19 years.
Exactly, it's the same thing. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so it's like you have the same conversations, but from different point of views, and then at some point it just gets super raunchy, and then
we don't go there because that's bad. But the thing is the whole purpose of the conversation was not to take anything away from an amateur. An amateur can do a great job, and one of the reasons that brought this up is like sound treatment. Okay, so let's say I charge you $300 to do sound treatment. Okay, I have to get that done in a certain amount of time because that's all that's allotted in that $300 amount of money. Now, you could go to an amateur, Tom down the street that's like got a bitchin' set of tools, and he's going to work on your car for the whole week. All right. And he's going to still charge you $300 because he don't care. He wants to smoke dope and put roadkill in. Okay. He's perfectly cool, bro.
Tom's pretty awesome.
Tom is a really cool guy. He's got a bitchin' he's got old school porno mags in the back from his dad. You can hang out in his garage. He's got a 42-inch TV on the wall. He's got a cooler full of beer and an ice maker and all that shit, because it came out of the kitchen. It was the wrong color. Who knows? Tom is a great guy. And the grill has always got something going. But he's working on your car for a week every day after you get home. And he's road killed the hell out of this thing. He's bulletproof now. It weighs an extra 500 pounds. So as an amateur, did he do a better job? Yes. Did he spend like 200 hours on it? Yes. So can a professional do that? Yes, but you have to pay him for 200 hours.
Exactly.
So that's the difference. We have the tools that we have to pay for. We have, and like our tools are a revolving amount of money. Just because you bought a screwdriver doesn't mean like you get to keep that screwdriver. We like to lose shit, so we got to buy that screwdriver again. So these are straight up commodities in our industry as someone that works on things. And then we have lighting, and then we have rent, and then insurance, and the water bill, and
10
all
pairs of flush cutters every week.
10 pairs of flush cutters every week because they get worn out. So there's all these things that go into that he doesn't have, but he's got a cooler full of beer. So, and some, he's getting high on the weekends. And the Tom is badass.
Is the dude. I want to hang out with Tom. Tom, if you're doing installs, holla at you. I need some help, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love this picture.
Nice.
I love this picture for so many reasons. I remember doing this. This is a Ranger, man. This is a Ford Ranger. Like, who didn't have a Ford Ranger? I never had one, but I worked on hundreds of them. So when a Ford Ranger would come into the install bay back then for this model, you would fight your fellow team to install it because we used to get paid by job.
Yeah.
So you could put 4 speakers in a radio in this thing in a half hour. Like, boom, done. It was unless it had window cranks, in which case, no, these had screws. That's right. These had screws. You just popped them right off. Half hour, doing money in the bank. But this idiot, I don't know what the hell he was thinking. Like, he wishes he had a hatchback. Put a screw in the back of the seat. And keep in mind, the back of that seat, it was just carpet. There was nothing there.
Right.
So I think they were just giant screws. And I think the funny part about this is like when we pulled the screws out and saw how long they were, we're like, oh my God, I'm surprised you didn't feel those in your back.
Yeah, no kidding. It's just in the foam.
Yeah. It was great.
Was this an extended cab with the little jumper seats?
No. This was a regular cab right behind it. That was the wall. So that's probably why I thought. But I mean, it was like, just flip the amp around.
Put it on the wall. Right.
Screw it through the bed, bro. Go right through the bed. Who cares? No one's going to see it. They're drywall screws. It's the bed. Go right into it. Who gives a crap?
It happens
all the time.
A lot. Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, man. And it's really bad when you have to see some guy come in with his $70,000 pickup truck that the idiots before us screwed it right into the wall. And you got to go, hey man, so I think they screwed into your bed. I don't think so. I asked them not to. And then you're like, yeah, they screwed into your bed. And he was like, what the hell? I'm like,
like trucks are so freaking expensive nowadays. I can imagine like, yeah, man, there's no way they do it. I asked them not to do that.
no, they didn't do it once, man. They did it like
Yeah.
10 times. They screwed everything into the bed. I mean, I've seen them, you know, the zip ties with the screw hole? You know, that you can put the little zip tie has the little hole in it.
Yeah.
I've seen them where they've literally just, you know, all the way down. And you're just like,
Oh my God.
no one will ever see it unless they take
Yeah.
the bed off. That'll never happen. Never.
It's cool. Trucks are cheap. I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one here. Next gym.
This is the epitome of lazy. Okay. I mean, I get it if you didn't have a ring terminal, but even if you didn't have a ring terminal, I mean, you could have
like it's right here.
You could have just stripped the end and wrapped it around the bolt and screwed it in. I mean, you could have soldered it onto that terminal. There's so many things you could have done other than a blue T-tap. And the blue T-tap is the wrong size. I mean, that would be a red. Pardon me. That'd be a red T-tap for sure. You know.
Yeah.
And at least you could, you know, cut the wire.
Do people really use this many T-taps and stuff in installs?
I mean, I don't know what people are using nowadays. We don't even have them in the store.
Yeah.
T-taps are one of the T-tap stands for temporary tap. Okay. So the idea isn't terrible, but as a permanent solution, it is terrible. It was not made for this. Back in the 90s, Dean, you should charge for access.
That's a great idea.
just put it up here. So back in the 90s, like T-taps were all the rage. Like you didn't, you know, the only way you could put an alarm in and turn around and because you had an hour to put an alarm in. You would literally go out to the car with a bag of T-taps. You'd have your sheet of where all your wires were. You'd have a test light, not a voltmeter. You'd have a test light. You plug it in the cigarette lighter. You turn the car on. You pray, you know, because back then airbags were optional. And you'd literally just go blue wire, white wire, green wire, yellow wire, green wire, and then you go click, 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 and then you just mount the brain to wherever you could and start just running the wires out and plugging them in, and then zip tie it up. Maybe sometimes you just wrap the wire around the wire and plug it in, and then you were done. And it's like, there you go, alarm. The worst part was like, I gotta hook it up. I gotta drill a hole through the wall and put a siren under the hood. Oh, it has horn honk. Wow, let's do that.
How many do you get where people just like, I've done this install. They just take the factory wire harness, just like snip.
Oh yeah, yeah, and they cut it right at the plug so that you're.
Oh, dude, that's the worst. Like, oh, now great, I got to deep in this whole thing. Excellent.
No, I don't even bother with that. I'm like, I'm just gonna order you the reverse harness, and you can come back in a couple days. It's not worth it for me to dick with this thing for an hour when I know I can just order the harness because
that's professional versus Tom the amateur.
Yeah, Tom will sit there for 4 days trying to read this thing, and I'm just gonna like screw that. I'm gonna order you the harness. We had a guy that came in. He had a 29-bit GM that takes obviously one of the smart harnesses, and they had cut it and probed it and just like destroyed the harness. And I'm like, what were you guys doing, man? Like, you know, it had a red wire, so we hooked accessory up to it. We thought that, you know, red for red, right? And like, that's not how it works. So we're like, no, you need the smart harness, but we can't just solder this in. So we're going to order you the right things. We'll rebuild your factory harness, and then we'll plug our stuff in, and we'll go from there. And like, how long is that going to take? How long is that going to cost me? Yeah. Well, if you wouldn't have screwed it up in the first place, we'd have been done by now. But since you did, I've spent more time talking to you and telling you how we're going to fix it than what it would have actually taken to just do it right in the first place. So I don't know. I don't care.
This is on you, bro. You did this.
Yeah.
Is this what you wanted?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like it when they're like, prime example. Gentleman came in today. He bought a radio for his car, and he did the whole Crutchfield thing, and he tried to do it himself. You know, why not? I mean, it's just a Nissan. How hard can it be? And he got there, he hooked it up, and it didn't work. And he said, you know what? I did what I could, put it all back together, clipped everything back in. He didn't cut anything. He just put it all back in the box, drove, called Paul, made an appointment, brought it to us and said, I can't get it to work. I don't know what you guys need to do, but if you can get it to work for me, that would be special. And I was like, okay. And as it turned out, it was a special car. Everything in that thing, it was like no one had any information on this car. It was just like, it was nuts. It took a good amount of time to get this radio in. But, at the end of the day, we got it in, we got it working, and he was happy. But yeah, he was smart enough to know when to throw in the towel and move the hell on and just stay professional.
Well, that's how to be, the all pass filters and all this nonsense. Like, I don't know any of this. This is not how this works. Well, we're at our hour. What do you got to pimp, man?
Tomorrow we have the last of the Kicker Key videos. The last one. We had one more video that we wanted to film, and we had the opportunity to do that yesterday because we had another product we had to put in Haley's car to test out. So, which that video will be out next week. But the Kicker Key, the last of the Kicker Key videos, the last of the Haley Kicker product, is out tomorrow. We take the Kicker Key and we go full active front stage instead of 4-channel. We just walk through the basic process of doing that switch over and kind of outline how that is to be done. We don't go really deep into it because it wasn't that complex of a thing. We just more or less talk about it and show how to do it. But then that's it for that car. That'll be the last of the Kicker products in her car because we're gonna tear it all out and put new stuff in it.
Oh, ground zero everything.
No. That she's getting another manufacturer has dibs on her car, so we're gonna move into we're gonna move that stuff out, and it's gonna be a sad day for sure. But no, ground zero. We're gonna. So we and another thing we did is we just put the hybrids in Fernando's car this week.
Ooh.
So he's got the Morel hybrids in there, and he's playing around with that. But I think next month we have to temporarily remove them because we have a uranium system coming from ground zero to go in there. That's going to be in there for about a month, and then we'll remove that and put the Morels back in. But
that'd be fun. Those ground zero door kits, those are pretty dope. Those are pretty dope.
Yeah, I gotta get some of those for my car, for the new car. Which we
I like the way it's just one little kit. It's got everything in it you need, and just boom.
I'm trying to get them to sell them online because there's no way to get them online. And I'm like, dude, you guys are totally missing the boat. And they have a bulk kit coming, which is even better. So you'll be able to just get a bulk kit. And we're like, oh, thank God. Because we've needed that because it's like a lot of because we don't always use those. And it's like now that we'll have a bulk kit, it's like, oh, this will be perfect. So we're pretty excited about that. I'm thinking about becoming a ground zero dealer. Exactly, right? Just sell them all online. But yeah, what do you got going on?
Man, I've got a boombox build I'm still working on.
Yeah.
You've seen part of the finish. I've got to solder up the crossover and do all that stuff now. The finish is done.
Are you going to sell it or are you going to raffle it off?
No, I think I'm going to build a shelf and put it right here.
Oh, that'd be cool. All right, I like that. But you should have had them send you guys two.
Yeah.
So that you could build one or build two and then give one away.
Yeah, that's what I should have done. I might do that in the future. It's a little more work than I expected. But
it always is. Welcome to my world.
Yeah. As far as this week, I've got a couple of video ideas and stuff filmed, so I don't know what I'm coming out with, but it'll be something on a Monday. That's about it.
The Boring Life of Dean and Haley, for those guys that didn't get Sue's Facebook blast that I got a new car.
I've seen that.
I'm like, everyone's going, I'm like, how does everyone know I got a new car? I didn't tell anybody. And then Sue's over there giggling. I was like, because I don't really go on Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm like, oh, okay. So for those of you that are curious and want to know more, watch The Boring Life of Dean and Haley on Saturday morning. That's kind of what we discuss in that video.
That'd be a good one. Yeah, because I knew about this. I knew about this possibility last week, and then I seen the post, and I was like, Yeah.
So just EW, Hybrid is a speaker manufacturer, but Hybrid is also a series of Morel speakers not associated with the Hybrid speaker line. So just like Hybrid makes like the Legatias and that kind of thing, Morel makes the Virtus, the Hybrid, and then a couple other things that I can't pronounce readily because I always forget, even though I own like several pairs of them. So like the Maximos and the Ultras. And so it's just a name. The Hybrid actually stands for the motor structure that they use. They take a standard ferrite magnet and a neodymium magnet, and they sandwich the two together in a hybrid capacity to make the two stronger and smaller than if you were to use one ferrite magnet or the expense of a giant neo magnet. So where they come up with where it gets its name from is the hybrid technology of fusing those two magnets together for the motor structure, which we talk about in the video, which you'll see next week because we filmed three big videos this week. So it was like, it's exhausting.
And Morel's, they're kind of obtuse with their name because they'll have like the Maximo Ultras,
yes,
or the Maximo Hybrids, or they
have so they're the Integras. So Integra and Maximo, Integra means coaxial.
Yeah.
So you'll have like the Virtus Integras, and you'll be like, all right. Yeah. So Carbon Ultra Minis.
Yeah. Tempo Ultra.
Tempo. So you have Maximo and Maximus.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the frick?
Like, why does this one cost 200 and this one costs 3,000?
Oh yeah. Well, they're Israeli, so they can do whatever they want, I guess. I don't know, but they make some of the bad. I mean, the Hybrid has a 2.1 inch voice coil.
Yeah.
And the reason why it does that, and there again, why they need that magnet structure is because it's mounted inside of the voice coil. So they don't take a big woofer voice coil and then put the magnet on the outside of it. They need a very powerful magnet that can fit up inside of the voice coil, and it's wound that way. So it's unique, to say the least. And the Hybrid Tweeters is actually a double stack neo magnet.
Oh,
and we're nice. And you're just like, oh wait, wow. But you'd look at it, you'd never know. But it's this giant, because in the dome on it is just like, it's got this giant dome of a tweeter. Because I mean, that's what Morel is actually known for, is their tweeters. These things, you cross them over between 22 and 2400 hertz.
Yeah.
That's how low these things will play down. The FS on them is like 1100.
Nice.
You're like, okay. Mid range. It's not a tweeter. So, all right, guys. Thank you for sticking with us a couple minutes extra and putting up with Hi-Fi's 90s references.
It's coming back next week, and we're going through the rest of the pictures. So
yeah, we still got like another probably 30 pictures. So we'll continue more next week. I like this topic. It's a lot of fun. I know how you guys love 911 stuff. So
yeah,
booyah, baby. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Same bad time.
Same bad channel.